Going on to you, Pisces. So you have the devil, the sun, and the king of swords. So a lot of you Pisces are very much so reflecting on the interactions that you've had with some low level downstairs people. And there's a lot of that out here nowadays. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But the king of swords is all about learning from your mistakes, right? It's about a person who has the ability to sit down and self-reflect and redo it, especially in this reading, and redo all the mistakes that they've made and understand where they can improve. And a lot of you Pisces have very much so, you think about a lot of the past relationships that didn't work for you and why they didn't work. And the result is the Six of Pentacles and the Hermit. A lot of you Pisces were probably too good. Like if you Pisces were giving and you were loving and you showed this person love and you were considerate to them and this person didn't show you back any kind of consideration, those people really didn't want to show you anything, because these are people that, once again, if they showed you any kind of consideration, they would spend a lot of their life trying to repay you back. And this is part of the reason why, like it is, I said, even I had to get over this myself, that when it comes to apologies and, people, why is it that people don't show any kind of consideration for another person? It's because of the fact that regardless of whatever it is that you Pisces think it is, these people are really disenfranchised and broken. Let's just call it what it is. They're broken. These are people who can't be in full-blown relationships with you because they would have to spend their whole life repaying you. They can't give you back anything. They can't, because they don't see themselves as worth anything. So in order to stop themselves from not spending their whole life being like an indentured servitude, giving you everything, paying you back everything, right? Because what it is that you give to them, what you've given to them is more than just words. You've given them decency and respect and stuff like this. This is why it is that I say that a lot of times, people always want to be repaid materially, but they're not paying attention to what happens. And we're going to discuss that right here, because those people would spend their whole life having to pay you back. And the reason why it is that I say everybody is so much caught up, well, not everybody, but so many people are caught up with material things. When somebody does you a wrong and you didn't deserve it, for real, and you're a true victim in the sense that this person had to straight up lie, and this person they started off really good and they didn't show you any kind of indication that they had something else going on, and then they just switch up like this, that's good to a certain extent, because what it says is, yeah, you're going through it now, but this person has a debt to pay when it comes to you. They have a debt to pay. Now, it's an instance where they did you wrong and they know they could say whatever. If they start talking about you, they don't want to do that, because now you could come out and say, what about this? What about the time when I did call you and you ain't answer the phone and I called you first? And then, see, that's what I'm trying to say. It eliminates the BS. And a lot of people want to be on the BS. They want to do people dirt so that they can have something to bellyache and moan and complain about. But you Pisces treating them so good, you're treating them so good, so well, to the point where they don't have anything to complain about. So they have to switch up. Then you have the Hermit. I said, no, this is the Magician, excuse me. The Magician and the Hermit. So this is like a lot of Virgo energy, right? But this is, again, the observation of it, though. So I'm, in this deck, in this deck, I can kind of get misconstrued these two because they look alike. They both have the fezzes on and you know what I mean? They both have the garments and the wardrobes on that look alike. So I'm sorry, the magician and then the hermit, right? This person, so the hermit and the Three of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune is all about how, they want to be out here in the streets. And this is something that, just as it is that I was talking about yesterday while I was walking my dog, like, that's the getting attention from like I'm stealing some of the dudes, chicks that they with. They looking at me and I'm just like looking. You feel me? And then the dudes is upset and I'm looking at it like, this is the problem. You're trying to control the situation too much and you don't seem to understand that. That's part of the problem, why it is that if anything were to happen, you would lose the very same wifey type that you put up there as wifey, because you're trying to squeeze the situation too hard. You're applying too much pressure. In the sense that, and that's what it is I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say all of that to say it's a personal choice. And this is the very same thing that I was talking about last night, right? Just thinking about, right, in my head, right? Like as I'm, pondering it as I'm walking my dog, like that's the thing a lot of people don't get, like this ideology of need for control when it comes to people choose it. That's the same thing that you Pisces have to understand. People are choosing to be dysfunctional. This is the reason why it is that, there's this talk about the community and this, that, and the third. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Noble Drew Ali and Elijah Muhammad basically knew that there was no such thing as the community the way that most people put it out there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the idea of the community. It's build with people who really want to build with you, who are of your own nation. You understand what I'm saying? But build with people who rock with you. Be in unit. You understand what I'm saying? Know how to work the board in the sense that when you out here trying to get to know somebody, a person has to want to be with you. This ideology of trying to get people to submit and like force them to get down with your program and stuff like this. A person has to present a program, and then the other person or people have to be okay with it and participate. So then the thing is that the Fool and the World is about how, so a lot of you Pisces, a lot of you very much so at the top of the year, right? Very much so are like learning that early in the year so that you don't have to deal with this nonsense when the warmer weather starts settling in. Because when the warmer weather comes out, that's when people come out even more. There's way more activity in the warmer weather because there's no need for jackets. But the point that I'm trying to make here, because I'm just speaking from a New York standpoint, but the point that I'm trying to make here with that is you Pisces are learning that at the top of the year, from the sense of like, you're not going to hold on to exes or people that give you a hard time. Like if a person doesn't have enough common sense to be with you and to play their cards right, I'm not saying that they have to be perfect, right? But if a person doesn't know how to have basic common sense and decency and respect and stuff like this whole ideology of having to like scream and yell and like stand over a person and 10 toes that, like all of that type of stuff, if you ask me, all of that alpha stuff is whack, because a person has to, like, come on, yo, like, come on. Like, if how is a grown adult need to be yelled at like they're a child? Like, what is up with that? So let's clarify some of these cards. If a person does that type of stuff, that lets you already know that person is not meant to be taken seriously on a world stage. Period. They could scream. I don't care what they want to talk about. They're not really meant to be taken seriously like that. Because part of being an adult is learning what? discipline, how to control yourself, how to be behaved. That's part of considered being a civilized being, especially when you get older and you come out here into the business world. You have to behave. You have to know how to behave yourself. If you go into a building and you start screaming, the security guards are going to take your goofy behind up on out of there and potentially beat you up or call the police and have you arrested for for disturbing the peace or whatever. And it's the same thing when it comes to being in relationships, Pisces. It's like this, like a lot of you Pisces are realizing like this whole ideology of needing the other person to have to like get the person to submit. And this is a game. It's like all of that is finished. And it doesn't work. Let's clarify the world card. It doesn't work because we see what happens. What happens now? The people that other people get with is so out of their mind, no matter what it is. They could be married, right? They could be married for 10 plus years and they still playing this game of, well, you need to make me submit. It's like, I've known you for 20 years. I've been married to you for 10. I've been married to you for 15 years. You still ain't submit? Come on, stop. They still playing this game. And it's whack. The Sun, the Six of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. That's my point. That's my point. To clarify the world, right? The Sun and the Six of Wands. You Pisces are getting it. Like, person has to already, like, a person can't be childlike in the brain and stupid and dysfunctional, but then but so-called want to be taken seriously. Like we're putting, like, there's too many people who put stupid individuals up on positions that supposed to be taken seriously. Like, why is Cardi B able to be talking to the president of the United States? Like, stop it. Like, let's get over this. And it's the same scenario with you. Why is it that a group of dysfunctional people get a chance to even talk to you, Pisces, in a private way, talking about they in a relationship with you? Though, like, these are the type of people that you only need to be talking to in public because they too wild to be your husband, your wifey type. They're dysfunctional. So the Knight of Pentacles and the Two of Wands represent. So what you're looking for is an individual that has their own estate, has their own vine and think tree. These are people who understand automatically from their experiences and common sense why it's a bad idea to be going out into the world and act like they don't have any kind of decency and they don't know how to civilize themselves and behave in public and behave just in general. But that's going to take some time though, Pisces. And another thing too, before I get up on out of here, stop allowing people to just say and do whatever. Stop allowing people to just, you know what I'm saying? Because there's way too many people who talk about they want an alpha or like they want somebody that wants to, you know what I mean, do this. Whenever it is that I hear that, that's a huge red flag. When a person says they're looking for an alpha, when a person says they're looking for someone that's driven and they talk about certain things, it's like, it's one thing to be driven, but what you're asking for is you want somebody to bicker and argue with you. And then they don't even really take into consideration, my dear Pisces, that you have people with different personality types too. Like, sometimes not everybody is going to sit there and argue with you. Sometimes people like myself, who I would love to be soft-spoken, but people take me seriously because at the end of the day, it's the truth though. And what I'm about to say is the truth though. I'm well respected. And I ain't got to be a criminal or be criminal-minded, and I'm not a criminal. But I'm well respected in a neighborhood that a lot of people would consider to be rough. So I'm not finna be talking to anybody, yelling, screaming, raising my voice, having to show the person who was. If I gotta do all of that, that's a problem.